Welcome to the LEMP Manual Testing Bootcamp Cohort 25 Student Showcase. Over the past 3 months, our students have completed intensive manual software testing training, followed by a 2-month internship working on an industry AI project for a real client. Today, each student will present their portfolio, share the project they worked on, demonstrate the testing activities they completed. They're also going to discuss the challenges they encountered, the lessons they learned, and how this experience has prepared them for their careers. You will also hear inspiring success stories, including one of our students who recently secured a project manager role after applying the skills and confidence gained during the program. We hope you enjoy the presentations.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for having me. My name is Anthony Bebo, and I'm a QA tester from Cohort 25, which started in April this year. And over the next 10 minutes, I'll be walking you through my internship journey, the projects I worked on, and what I've learned along the way. So I've got a background in engineering, and I thought the reason why I embarked on this program was to transition into tech. And it's always something I wanted to do, and QA seemed like an easy way to get into tech. Okay, so I worked across 2 projects, the LEMP website and the AI butler. So I'm starting with the LEMP one. So I worked on a website that reaches out to job seekers, mentors, and professionals. And my focus was on manually testing 2 sections of the website, the who we are and the contact us. And the testing approach here was manual, and it covered functional testing. The second project was the AI blog butler, and it was completely different. It was an automation workflow that involved Google Sheets, LLM, and Google Docs and Gmail. So I validated everything from the Google Sheets to the workflow. So when I'm done with the slides, I'll just take you through the practical work I did, if that's fine. Okay, so slide 3. So my LEMP contribution. So I contributed to the test plan and created manual test cases for the OER page and contact us page. And we carried out functional and accessibility checks. And on the AI blog butler, I created about 10 test cases. I also contributed to the test plan as well. And I also I raised some defects. I identified some defects which involved missing email handling, duplicate notifications, and broken doc links in Jira. So I attended meetings, participated in stand-up calls, sprint reviews, and throughout the entire life cycle. And we carried out testing. I carried out testing activities, end-to-end workflow validation using Anytime, Google Sheets, Google Docs, and Gmail environment. So the challenges encountered. One of the major challenges was understanding the complex Anytime automation workflow, and also the product requirements had to be changed midway, which made it a bit difficult for everyone. But I was able to overcome eventually. So I took time to study how I address the challenges. I took time to study the product requirements, and I also studied the Anytime documentation. And I referenced acceptance criteria, and to define boundaries and edge scenarios. I collaborated with my other teammates, and I carried out documentation of my bugs, which I raised with my team lead, and it went back to the product owner, and the developer came up with solutions. I carried out regression testing to ensure that all the fixes were correct, and then I created dedicated. So some of the inputs I raised with the product owner and the developer resulted in creating different separate Google Sheets, Google Drives, and Gmail accounts for each of our test cases, which seems to help. So lessons learned from these projects. I learned that negative testing is very critical, as well as positive testing. I also learned that clear defect reporting with severity in the sense that from high to low priority is very important in speeding up resolution. I also learned that agile ceremonies like daily stand-ups and also collaborating with teammates, it aids the testing and it yields positive results. End-to-end testing catches integration bugs that unit tests miss entirely. So the end-to-end testing is the system testing. So testing from scratch to the end of the life cycle. It catches bugs that ordinarily you would miss. Career goals. So I gained very key skills during this program. I learned how to use tools like Jira. I learned how to create test cases and test executions, and also carry out exploratory testing as well. I really enjoyed the Agile Sprint participation. It was nice. Tools used, I used Jira. Within Jira, I used Confluence, Zephyr Skills for test management. I was also introduced to the N10 workflow for automation testing, which was nice. And then I learned better how to use Google Sheets and Google Docs. Agile workflow, daily stand-ups, and sprint planning. It went a long way to make me appreciate teamwork better. Collaboration with the developer. It was very nice to have the developer on one of our calls, and it really made me understand the entire bug bottler workflow better. Sorry. So career aspirations. So I would like to become a highly skilled QA engineer with expertise in both manual and automation testing, and also go on to do the ISTQB certification in the future. So my next steps is to pursue the ISTQB Foundation certification and then learn probably AI automation in QA testing. So I'll move to one sec. Can you see my screen? Can you see my Jira?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So so this is the Jira platform, and so I worked on reviewer notification workflow, and so it moved from to do to done, so it's on done now. My test cases, I created about 10 test cases, 3 happy path ones and 7 negative test cases. Sorry, it's taking time to. Okay. Oh, thanks. So I carried out test executions for each and every one of them. So for my test cases, these are the scripts, the steps, and expected results. And initially, I had a bug in one of my test cases, but after it was resolved, I retested and it passed. So all my test cases passed, following all the steps. So I'll take you to my test cycles. So my executions are 100% complete. And yeah, it was nice. I also contributed in coming up with a test completion report. I think it's somewhere. Yeah, so that's my part of the test completion report. I need to remove my initials. So I did a high level documentation on the purpose of the project, testing objectives, scope of the testing, overall testing outcome, key achievements, went on to do project overview to explain what bug bottler is, purpose of the application, business problem being solved, key techniques used, key technologies, so the environments were mostly Google Sheets, N10, OpenAI, LLM, Google Docs, and email. So I also did the scope and out of scope of this project as well. So I think that's all for now.
Well done. That was really, really good. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for showing us your portfolio, everything you've done for 3 months. That was very, very good. Shows that you're prepared to launch yourself.
Yeah. I used to be like you. I used to be a very nervous guy. But and one of the things that I told myself is, what's the worst that can happen is reject me, right? You're not going to beat me, you're not going to put me in prison, you're not going to kill me. So my point is, because you're going into a lion's den now after this, you're going to be going into different kind of interviews, different people. You're going to be walking into some face-to-face interview, and the only thing you can do is just to keep standing in front of the mirror every single day and make affirmations to yourself. Speak to yourself and tell yourself, I'm the best, I'm the greatest, I'm the best QA tester in the world. Just keep affirming every day. When you wake up in the morning, do that. In the evening, if it's possible, do it, and then write it almost everywhere around your bedroom. Okay, do that for like 3 weeks every day, and I
Okay.
bet you that nervousness will completely go out of the way. It worked for me. So just affirm it to yourself. Tell yourself you're the best. No one is better than you. Just keep rehearsing those lines every single day, and watch what will happen. Nervousness will go. Even if you want to go on an interview and you still feel that way, quickly before the interview, go in front of the mirror, lock yourself up, and just talk to yourself like as if you're interviewing yourself. And then when you come out of the mirror and the door, you'll be shocked at how much confidence you exude. All right.
Wow, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Enito Okudade. My background is I would say from the beginning, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm still an entrepreneur, and I work in cybersecurity, and I decided to try quality assurance, and here I am in the manual testing class. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'll do my best to talk within 5 minutes. Okay, so my role here, I learned manual software testing intern in the cohort of April 2026. What's my motivation? My motivation is driven by my commitment to quality and a focus on the user experience through meticulous manual validation. Okay. Presentation, I only focused on the block butler because I thought we could talk on one of the projects. So that's the project I focused on. Yeah, the block butler is an automated SEO content workflow integration that integrates Google orchestration with element-based generation and also with Google Sheets and with N18. Then my role is ensuring the manual integrity of the input system and coordinating team documentation. There I learned team collaboration through Confluence setup. I was able to work with the group and I was tasked with setting up the Confluence, which I learned on Jira. Then also I worked on asset management where I was able to centralize all requirements, the test scripts and meetings for my team. That means all the team in general. Also, my workflow was based on to enable the structured agile environment for group synchronization. What was my contribution? I was tasked with content request and input management on the block butler automation framework, which involved validation, input, and Google Sheets. Now, on the manual test case ownership, I did so responsibility of individually authored and managed all the test cases for LW35, which was the content request and input management. I also worked on input validation, which also designed manual scripts to verify mandatory field constraints and row ID generation. I think I wrote this 2 times, okay. Then also the procedural clarity was to document clear and step-by-step manual procedures with the expected results for system validation. I've had several challenges. One of the challenges I had was kind of difficult for me at first when I had to work alone and in testing because it all seems like it was very heavy. But with time, I was able to find my way around it through the help of Osaze and Anthony and a few people in the group. Then my challenge was also case edge identification, like testing non-obvious failures points in the Google Sheets interface that could disrupt the NSN trigger mechanism. Excuse me. Data integrity. I was able to manage the risk of messy or manual formula which overrides corrupting the automated workflow. When taking part in the exploratory approach, I conducted unscripted testing sessions to simulate real-world user errors and unexpected character inputs. The testing outcomes. One of the testing outcomes was to identify critical vulnerabilities in the processing lock mechanism through ad hoc stress testing. Robustness was to provide actionable feedback that had led to enhanced validation rules that's for handling unexpected inputs. User perspective, I uncovered unstable issues, scripted test cases that I had missed, ensuring resilient final products. And finally, my skills that I gained. I gained manual test case design, complex administration, and requirement traceability. The tools I worked with, Jira. I learned how to work with Jira, issuing that they want for tracking. I also learned how to work with Confluence for documentation and the agile methodology, working with different teams, with the software team, the business analyst team, and all that, and everyone at the same time, which was a great opportunity. Thank you. Then my future aspiration. My future aspiration is get the junior manual QA analyst role, and also I intend to take that ISTQB foundation certification, and also I want to learn exploratory testing mastery more. Those are my future aspirations, and I want to say thank you for listening to me and encouraging me. Thank you so much.
If you look at the 5 fingers, right? All the 5 fingers are not equal. And every finger has its own purpose. There's a finger that scratches the back. There's a finger that picks the dirt from the other nail. There's a finger that you use to probably if you want to hold something firm. There's a finger that you can use. There are fingers that you can use to do your mathematics. Let's say you quick maths you want to do. Every finger on that hand is valuable, right? So none of them is useless. Now, there's something we believe where they say the race is not for the. If you look at Usain Bolt, he was one of the fastest running person ever. There have been some races that he started and he didn't start strong. It is not about how you start, it's about how you end. All right. Now, Anthony has released so much nervousness and tension to everyone based on what he's done. But you know one thing I love about you, Anita, is the fact that in the midst of pressure, you always find fun in everything. And that is what I want you to carry on as you start this journey. Okay. I want you to exude that character. Always remember that, listen, for the place that I've gotten to today, I've always worked with what works for me. Right. So even when you go on your interview, you see the way you made everybody laugh. That is the first thing I want you to do. I want you to first of all make them familiarize themselves with you, make them feel like, make them laugh so that that tension and that pressure can go away. Now, in this country, in the Western world, if you're a funny person, if you know how to get along, you know how to talk, you would always get whatever you want. That's the truth. So don't think about the fact that, oh, Anthony did a lot of going deep down. Just use your strength. Your strength is basically knowing fully well that, listen, I'm going to do what works for me. I'm going to make you laugh. I'm going to sow a seed of a pleasant soul. And always remember that 5 fingers are not the same. And always remember that it is not about how you start a race, it's how you end. Okay. I hope that helps.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so
well
much.
done to you. Well done to you. The last thing I was just going to say is always remember that enjoy the journey. Do not look at, oh, this person has really gone ahead of me, or this person has passed their exam, because I know some of you are going to be communicating. Don't put yourself under pressure. Just enjoy every part of it, okay? And at the end of the day, remember that it's not the first person to pass ISTQB that got the job. Amber never had ISTQB for years, but look at where she is today, all right? So always remember that and just enjoy everything. And at the end of the day, you'll see that it's not about a competition. It's just about doing the best that you can do and work to your strength. That's it.
Yep. Thank you so much, Mr. Ade. And anytime. I hope you got all of that. Okay, who's next on my list? I know, Josephine, you said you wanted to go next.
Yeah. Okay.
After Josephine, we'll go to Tosin. Tosin, I see your hand up as first. Susan.
These people are experts. Why did he put us with experts?
Blood of Jesus. Is this what I'm seeing? Thank God I quickly talk. Oh, Jesus Christ.
These are experts.
Mrs. Amber, God bless you.
You're making me shy, please.
This was why I went first.
You're making me shy.
Next time, it's good to always go first, so you don't get
Nice.
intimidated by the next person.
Hey.
Oh
my God.
It's Susan's emoji for me.
I'm
All
in
right.
the wrong place.
This should be illegal.
Anyway, illegal.
It's allowed.
It's allowed, absolutely. Anyway, this is just to let you know that Josephine, well done. The whole team loves what you're already showing. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Josephine. So I am from Malawi and current engineering intern for the cohort of the one from April. And I have my bachelor's in computer science. I am also a licensed pilot. Yes. So as you can see, I've said I graduated in computer science. Then I also have profession in aviation profession. I did AI and infrastructure research. That's something that I'm still like, I would say is like my motivating factor for my future plans of my PhD. So why software testing? So for the software testing with the background in with my aviation background, it taught me that quality assurance saves lives, right? So software testing is like the same discipline that is applied to systems that powers the digital world. So I want to be part of the solving problems, right? And doing things that work, that are reliable, and that are saving lives. Right. So for this project overview, we were working on the blog Butler for AI content. So what we did, I did the test cases. I had mine was the acceptance criteria for status. It should be status tracking. Yeah. So I did my test cases, positive, negative, and also some scenarios. Then I also did some identify some high risk nodes before writing the test cases. All right. And while doing the test cases, I also did like put the priorities of which one has high priority and which one does not. So this is just a summary of what I've done. I did like 16 test cases, 11 that passed, and 3 failed, 2 were blocked. Okay. And the features that were being tested, it was status tracking, the processing log, URL and ID column, and for error handling and also row canonicalization. So for this one, someone may be wondering what is that. So this one was checking when let's say for example two rows are having the same ID. So being able to see if it's able to just select one and leave the other one since they have identical IDs. Okay, so I did the functional testing, then exploratory and also regression testing that came after. My contribution was for the test cases. I contributed to when we did our test plan. I contributed to the test plan. Also, we did the LEMP. I also contributed to that one. We did a test plan and also the test cases too. And the activities that were the testing activities, this is what I did on my side, right? Okay, so I did the manual test. We were testing on the Google Sheet and also being able to verify with the Google URL as a reviewer. Yeah, and I did raise some defects, of which some of them we had to go with the meeting with the client where we had to like explain the issues that we had, and they had to also give insights of what needs to be done. Okay, so during our meetings, I did contribute to our meetings. We're having like every day, yeah, core stand-ups. So I did attend all those, not all of them, but I did the majority, except for the days that I traveled. Okay, I also contributed to the test plan. Yeah, our test plans that we did, and if someone had questions in our group, I was able to like respond and give answers. Okay. All right. So during the challenge, the main challenge was not being able to understand what the client wanted. So it's like the given test was that the test criteria had other things, and when we did our test plan, then having the test cases, they kind of were a bit of in conflict. So it was a bit hard to start. It took us a while to start. So just getting to a point where we're able to start, that was like the hardest part. Yeah, but it worked out as we're like having the stand-ups, asking more questions until we even had to talk to the client. So that helped with moving forward. Oh, okay. Right. Lastly, my career goals. So what I've learned so far, I am actually glad that I learned how to use Jira, because I remember I had an interview that was 2 weeks ago, and I was asked actually any platform for, was that for, so this one, it was from project manager interview, and I was actually asked that, do you know how to use Jira? And I was able to answer that. Like, I was like, whew, thank God, because I'm doing this, I'm able to say, yeah, I've come across this, and I still say that I'm still learning, but yes, I have an idea of what that is and how to get through it or how to go around it. So I am very glad that during this learning, it has actually contributed to me knowing things that I had no idea about. So Jira is one of them. Also, being able to write the test cases, the priority part, the test plans, documentation itself. So I'll say that this manual testing, I've learned a lot, and I believe that the skills that I've learned, I'll continue building on that as I move forward. Even when I get a job, it is going to, it's like the foundation of where I need to be. Right. And my aspirations for next steps, as I said, my goal is to do PhD. So that's something that I'm working on. And also building an AI powered QA frameworks. That's like, this has just given me ideas. I'm just getting ideas of what I could do in the future. Yeah. Thank you.
PhD, Josie.
Yes.
That's my girl. Well done. I love that. And
Thank you.
that's a very, very good topic, doing a PhD in a course related to that. That is really, really awesome. Feel free to reach out if you need some reviews,
Okay.
help, and stuff like that. Okay.
All
When
right.
it comes to education, I am a big ambassador.
Okay.
Well done. That was a wonderful presentation. I don't have to say too much, but there's one thing I want to say, which is your project management interview. I am so glad, even if that's the only thing you learned. And during your automation, when you were doing the automation training with us as well, a few months ago, you were also able to. So what I'm trying to say is I want to try and show you track record of what you've been doing. During the 3 months automation training that you did with us, you were using IntelliJ. And as at that time, you were working on your final year project for your master's. You were able to use IntelliJ based on the fact that you learned how to use it during the training and you used it for your schoolwork. And that really came handy. And you mentioning that, this is just to let you know that I did not forget. It shows that you're learning. And I love that aspect of you. Now, coming to the manual testing training, you joined, and now you've already started using what you've learned. Now, in an interview, you didn't tell me about it. And I'm so glad you went for that interview without even any coaching. But what helped you was what you learned from the training. So, which is so good that determination and commitment, staying focused, can really go a long way in helping us achieving what we want to achieve. You might come for a training, yes, I want to learn this, I want to learn that, and you end up learning all the things that you never thought you could learn. Trust me, my dad will always say, the day you stop, the day you die, that's the day you stop learning. There is no learning that is a waste. Everything you learn, be it collaboration, be it confidence speaking, be it how to use Jira, how to write test cases, whatever it is, you name it, is going to come handy one way or the other in any career that you decide to go into. So well done.
Thank you. And
Thank
just
you
so you
very
know,
much.
I did get that internship. Only that I haven't started working because I'm still waiting
You
for
got
my.
it.
Yeah, I got it. But I'm still waiting.
Congratulations. Wow. Well done.
Congrats.
Because just
Congrats.
imagine you're adding that to the CV. Wow. Congrats.
Thank
That's
you.
going to be your first tech corporate job. Do you know what that means? I don't want to shout it too much. Like, seriously, well done. I'm so glad you're giving us this good news. You went for
I'm
the
so happy
interview
for
and then
her.
you got the job. Oh,
I like to cheer for others.
well done.
Congratulations,
Congratulations.
Josie.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll hand over to Mr. Ade if you got anything you would like to add.
Right, pilots. That's what I always call you. With people like you, it's very difficult to kind of find the right words to motivate you because you're already motivated. You're very disciplined, you're very tactful, you're very thoughtful, very strategic, very impressed, very deliberate about every step you make. And the sky is just a starting point for you. I believe this, and we are very, very glad to know you. We're very glad to see that you've already taken that initiative to get yourself ahead of the curve before speaking to Amber about any interview, about any CV restructuring. You're already out there pushing yourself out there, which is very good. Like Amber said, honestly, this is obviously what we do is in education. Just keep doing what you're doing, just keep smashing it, just keep putting yourself out there and just keep going. I believe that you're going to do a lot for yourself, but I want you to showcase yourself. I want you to showcase your skills more, all the skills, because I can see that you've written Jira, but I don't think you've done a lot of justice. Especially you and Anthony, you guys have done automation testing, and you guys have learned so much skills. So I want you to, every time you go on any interview, anywhere you are, just outline those skills, because those skills would tell the interviewer a lot about you, even though you have everything in your head, you know it all, but display as much as possible. Okay, shout it, BSc in this. But I know it's good to be humble, but sometimes when you're trying to get to the next chapter of life, you got to be a bit cocky. Sorry, that's just the truth. You've got to be a bit brash in terms of you picking up yourself, because if you don't, no one is going to do justice for you. All right, so just always put that skills and those things you've learned, display it out there, and demand for the best, demand for your worth. Okay, but honestly, well done, congratulations.
Okay, I think we'll go next to Tosin. Hello, Tosin.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, it would have been so nice to also see your face.
I look homeless at the moment, sorry.
It is really homeless.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oluwatosin Adeleye, Cohort 25, April 2026, and I'd like to share my internship experience. My background about me. So I currently work as a mental health support worker, and I work with people with anxiety disorder, post-trauma disorder, and my role is to keep them safe so that they don't endanger themselves or the lives of other people. I'm curious, I am persistent, and I have good observational skill. I am also transitioning into software testing because number one, I don't want to limit myself to a particular career path. And also, while I was researching on what next I could do, and I came across software testing, I realized that quite a number of the skills I have, they're also applicable in software testing. There are quite a number of them, but for the sake of the presentation, I will just limit it to two. The first one is attention to detail. Like I said, I work with people with challenging behavior. Now, where I work, usually they are aggressive. There could be physical assault and destructive behavior. But usually, before this thing happens, there are usually little signs that one needs to look out for. Signs as small as pacing around, repeating questions, which may seem normal to an average person, but they're actually signs that an agitation is coming up. So the key thing here is the ability to be able to spot these early signs before they lead to behavioral incidents. Now, if I narrow it and bring it down to software testing it also requires the ability to notice both the big things and the little things that may be missed by others. And it's better to catch it early before they develop into big issues that may or will impact the user and the business at large. Then the second thing is also customer focus. Like I said, my duty is to keep them safe, and that is a positive thing. Bringing it down to software testing, the end goal of the software tester is to ensure that the user has positive experience. Now, my project overview. During my software internship, I worked on a live website project called LEMP, and the purpose of this project was to ensure that the website functions correctly and a user has a good experience, and it also meets the business requirements. My test approach was manual testing, which was conducted using the functional testing, exploratory, functional to ensure that all other the features are working properly, like your contact us page. When the user inputs the necessary fields, inputs populates the field and submits, the user is able to submit successfully. The explorating testing to uncover issues that were not covered by predefined test cases, and also regression testing to ensure that existing functionalities were not broken during the course of fixing or enhancement. The features I tested were website navigation, page content layout, responsiveness, how a page loads, how fast it loads, cross-sectional, cross-browser compatibility, cross-device compatibility. Overall, most of these tests that I did, the test execution summary, a large number they passed successfully, and few bugs were identified, which I logged, and it was worked on by a developer, and it was retested, verified, and then I closed the bug tickets. My contribution. So I collaborated with team members to design test plan, and I also created and executed 11 test cases, which in this one, they all passed when I did my execution. Now, I did exploratory testing, and from there, I was able to get or identify 6 bugs, which I created on Jira. I assigned it to the developer. It was retested. They were verified, and I closed the bug tickets. But during the course of this journey, there was a particular bug that was rejected by the developer, and that led to me participating in a bug triage session with the developer, the product owner, the QA lead, and another team member. I also attended daily stand-ups and meetings. Then I also performed regression testing. During the course of the regression testing, I noticed a regression issue, which I informed the developer, and it was fixed. I retested it again, and it was fine, and I closed that ticket. Challenges and the key learning. So one of the major challenges I had was trying to distinguish between a genuine bug and an intended design behavior during the explorating testing. I wasn't convinced because I was a bit persistent, and like I said, that was what led to the bug triage session. It was a bit challenging for me, but then I was able to share my view from a user's perspective, and the developer was also able to share their own view from a developer's perspective. Another challenge I faced was exploring without predefined scripts and also trying to interpret my acceptance criteria accurately when I was creating some test cases. My key learnings, I've learned quite a lot of things. The first one of the things I've learned is the value of explorating testing. When I did my initial test casing with the homepage, everything passed. I didn't find a single bug, and I was not blocked either. None failed. Everything passed. But the explorating testing gave me opportunity to kind of poke around and see what was probably missed. So I appreciate that value. Also, I learned to be able to effectively report my bug, write it out properly, the steps to reproduce, add my evidence, my severity, my priority, and also what my expected result is versus my actual result. I also learned how to write test cases better from acceptance criteria. And I also learned the importance of regression testing. During the course of the explorating testing, there was a regression issue which was flagged, and I was able to inform the developer, and it was tested. So I had a real experience of regression testing, not what I was told, but I experienced it personally. So that was a good one for me. And also the importance of collaboration and communication. Like I said, one of the challenges I faced was having to differentiate between a genuine bug and an intended design behavior. I was able to, the collaboration and the communication gave me an opportunity to constructively express my view without being defensive or making it about myself. My career goals, okay, skills gained, test cases, design and execution, bug reporting and management, team collaboration, the tools used, Jira, Zephyrskill, Confluence. My career aspiration, the next step, I want to continue to develop practical testing skills and secure a software testing / QA role and get more hands-on experience on real-world projects. And that will be all. Thank you.
Well done. I really love that. Now, Tosin, you should be a speaker. The reason I'm saying that is everything you said from start to finish, I did not notice there was no stuttering. There was no nervousness. You were sounding so bold and confident, like you've been doing this for the past 10 years. Please, what's the secret? That's literally how you delivered.
I've been practicing for about 5 days, practicing.
Oh, okay, I see. Wow, the delivery was really, really good. Like there was no nervousness, there was no stuttering, like good use of diction, and you were so bold talking. Like you had everything in your head and you were just talking. Well done. And personally, I just want to say thank you so much for all the testing that you've done, because I see you as the last man standing in your group, because it was, I think you guys were meant to be like 3 or 4, I don't know, I can't remember, but it was just you left to do all of the work, and it was a lot of tasks, but you took it on board. You tested a whole lot of pages, and the bugs that you reported, oh my God, I'm so sure that Osaze would have gotten tired of you at some point.
I agree.
Because you kept giving him a lot of bugs, and in as much as, yes, I'm also so sure that he would have loved them, because that's like opportunity for him to get to fix those issues as well. So I just want to say well done. Thank you so much. We can see difference in the LEMP website, because we just literally launched the website. I think it's just a month now. It's not even up to 2 months that website has been built. So the fact that you guys came on board, you started testing it, and Tosin, the other guys left you to go on the AI project, and your other team members couldn't really work on it. It was just you alone working on it. Well done, and God bless you. Thank you. Mr. Ade?
Thank you, and thank you for giving me the opportunity as well.
We're very
Hi,
happy.
Tosin. Well done. Like Mr. Samba said, you've shown so much confidence. You're very good at talking, and you're already displaying all the qualities of what a QA tester is meant to have. And yeah, well done to you. Just keep doing what you're doing. And I love the fact that you prepare. Imagine just to prepare for a presentation, you use 5 days. So just keep doing that. And eventually, I'm very sure that the job is going to come. But I'm also very happy with the fact that you're doing what you're doing before you started to transition into QA. It shows that you already have the mindset of what a successful QA tester will be. Because linking that foundation and that background to becoming a QA tester makes a lot of sense, and there's transferable skills there. So well done to you, and yeah, thank you for the website. And I know people like you are the testers that the world need. No, this thing is not working well. No, this thing has to work. So just exude that character when you go on your interviews. Just keep doing that and keep making yourself very, very, very confident, and just keep doing what you're doing, because before you know it, those jobs are going to keep. And now you now have a choice of which jobs you want to take, because what exactly testers are looking for, you have every characteristics of that. So kudos to you, and thank you for the great job you've done on the website.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adi.
Well done. Okay, who is next? Susan.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm here today to present my internship experience and learning journey following my recent completion of the AI of manual testing. And my agenda, I'll take you through about me, the project overview, my contribution to this project, and challenges and key learning that I've experienced here, and my career goals. So I'm Susan Ouma, and I participated in Cohort 25, and my role was QA tester and test intern. In this project, I supported in testing activities, created and executed tests, identified and reported bugs to the developers, and participated in agile meetings and section. My background is human resource and admission role. The reason as to why I chose this program, following my recent research prior, I gathered there are parallel skills that are aligned, such as sharing some fundamental goals, for example, verifying that the system or process function exactly as intended, and as well as I would say clear communication. Coming from a people-centered background gives me a competitive advantage, I might say. I bring natural user kind of empathy to user acceptance testing, for example, a proven track for recording and translating complex regulation into clear communication, and the conflict resolution skills needed to collaborate effectively, especially when you're dealing with the developers when bugs are found. The next is the project overview. I chose to participate to actually present the AI blog battler, even though I had an opportunity to do another project for the website. So the AI blog battler is an AI-driven content automation platform that generates a blog article for user requests. So the blog battler, the project was shared among a group of 7 team members, where I worked specifically in one of the critical control tests within the blog battler was the duplicate prevention mechanism. The purpose of this mechanism is its functionality is to ensure that a single block request is processed only once, even if the workflow is triggered multiple times, multiple users attempt to process the same request. System retries occurrence after failures. Without the duplicate prevention mechanism, a blog battler itself would create multiple Google Docs for the same blog. It would send duplicate review emails, consumption unnecessary of large language and end-to-end credits that will cause data inconsistency and as well as user confusion. So the project objective itself, the blog battler automation, the blog creation process was using Google Sheets, which were provided for us to, as testers to work on. So for it was mostly the requesting, it was used for requesting management, the end-to-end workflow, where I'll show you the example of how it was displayed. Just bear with me. This is the layout of it, how it was kind of presented, and it was shared. Everybody had a chance to have their kind of linked on testing, and it would once it was performed, it would trigger to specify email address. I will take you through that in a moment. If I could go back to my presentation on that. The automation as well, we have Google Docs which was used for document creation and storage, and email Gmail, which was mostly used for notification to the reviewer. Okay, and the test approach that I used a combination of functional testing, integration testing, explanatory testing, and negative testing. This helped us actually to kind of mostly judge the actually AI bottler and to recognize its failure. The workflow works like this, the diagram below that I'm showing you here. So it would work with Google Sheet input, the end-to-end workflow, the system that I showed you, and use the AI model, which is the LLL module on that. So you would input the validation to ensure only complete and valid program requests were processed. The workflow would work through the end-to-end workflow. So it will verify that the block butler workflow is executed correctly after a valid request was submitted and highlighted on Google. And the AI context, which is the LLM model, validated that the AI generated relevant and structured block content based on the user inputs. And all the Google documents which were created to ensure generated blocks were created and stored correctly, and email notification that was used to verify reviewers and notify when the block was ready. So the workflow would just flow in between the structure that you see here. And the feature tested that I happened to do, my one was mostly specifying on duplicate prevention locking. So the first test I performed was processing lock validation, whereby you would use the spreadsheet. I'll show you an example of the spreadsheet that I had to use. That's the sample that we worked on. So in this kind of scenario, whereby the block request would be submitted through here, and hence why that's the spreadsheet we worked with. You would highlight it and then use the end-to-end system to do the execution. I'll pick that and do the execution from here. So this one will be a process that would be triggered. And hence, when the status changes to validation, the workflow changes to schedule write-up, which is actually like a trigger and a process from this sheet to the end-to-end. And the chart here showcase on how 2 ways that would go. If the spreadsheet has been tampered with, it will lock and no process, the actual process of testing the actual end-to-end will stop. However, if the correct formula has been placed, whereby nothing has been done, I mean, the proper clear setup of the spreadsheet has been processed, it will apply the processing from Google to end-to-end and create the document. So the third testing would be lock release verification. For example, confirm the lock is released after successfulness. The system generates a complete logging containing a title, whereby it will come down on the the Google Doc. And then from there, it will send an email review with the title to the tester. And from there, they would update the spreadsheet from approved to be approved to approved. And that will indicate only one document has been created or generated, or only one block has been generated, and one Google Doc has been generated, and one email generated. If it happens to go to a negative testing, I try to do one of the negative testing whereby when the same workflow was triggered twice, stimulation, the first flow acquired will lock the process following my chart here, and it will stop. And duplicate block document or email would be created. However, the next page on it, I showcase the metrics of how many tests that I did, how much is passed, and the actual failed ones were rectified prior of us continuing with the actual testing. So after a defect that were fixed, I performed a regression testing to verify that the changes had not impacted the existing function. So this included retesting workflow triggered, block generation, and duplicate locking mechanism to ensure the overall remained tests that we had to do was stable and reliable. My contribution, I would say, I created the test. The test created was developed the processing log. This was the test that I had to perform and register in Jira, which is the new system that I had to learn. I'm not too familiar with it, but I managed to kind of work through it from the help that we had. And I attended meetings, daily stand-up with the fellow team members and the product owner when required. There was requirement review and test sessions. There was discussion with the developers as well when required. The defects which were raised in the start of the project itself was workflow continued. Defects were raised, and workflow continued despite missing mandatory fields, which were able to be rectified. And I've covered that, on my previous page. So the text activities that was completed was requirement analysis, test plan, which we had to share as well from the team, test execution, bug logging and resetting, and explanatory testing. Some of the explanatory tests that included the block content generation and targeted keywords verified by inputting and recognized word on the actual spreadsheet. So this helped to actually kind of showcase that the spreadsheet would not create any duplication. And following my testing, there was no duplication recorded, so which kind of concluded the path towards this AI block and whatever is meant to do. The challenges and key learnings, the challenges that I encountered and how I addressed, initially was understanding complex workflow logic. So that was mostly the challenge itself was understanding interacting between the Google Sheet and the N10 and the AI models which were used. The solution was done by working closely with the developers. The team leader, Saz, was quite helpful on this. So we reviewed the workflow document, and on testing AI-generated content AI, the response initially would vary even with the same inputs. So the solution was found whereby we focused on confirming structures, relevance, and using the actual keywords. The other challenge I would say we encountered was the timing in the initial testing. Some blog requests took longer than expected. However, it was found the solution which was kind of provided was workflow steps was optimized and unnecessary execution were removed. Hence why each team member was provided with own workspace in the N10 and really kind of, I think, helped on us working with the Google Sheet. And that was kind of a bonus. And I've seen through any challenges that you encounter, you could always bring with the daily stand-up, it was a way of us actually to learn more and find solution rather than waiting until later. So the key learnings as well, where I learned about the technical learnings because I was a novice with this manual testing. So the requirement analysis testing plan on how to go about it, and the end-to-end flow testing. As well, I would say the quality assurance on how to look on defects, lifestyle management, the negative testing part of it, and how to go about finding them. And as well as explanatory testing, which is rigorous testing apart from what you have been provided. I've also acquired business skills, importance of preventing duplicate processing, communicating with the stakeholders, and agile team working. My career goals, I would say the skills that I've gained from here, test cases, reporting, I'm sorry that I'm repeating myself, the technical knowledge on here about workflow automation concepts, the tools that I've learned and I would want to continue to actually improve was Jira, Google Sheet, and how used for example, to request submission and status tracking. Understanding the agile workflow through this program and internship, I've gained experience in sprint planning, daily stand-up, backlog management, and continuous improvement on performance continuous improvement, i.e., for example, workflow performances. And my career aspiration, I aim to build a career in QA, business analyst, and agile project delivery. So my next step is continuing to build QA expertise. So I'm looking into practicing QA by approaching my current workplace in the meantime, but just to actually get the hang of things properly. And my career goal after this as well is to be QA engineer with expertise in both manual and automation testing. And that's my conclusion with this project. Thank you for having me.
Well done. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. I'm really so excited that the fact that having all of you come to do this presentation. Susan, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. We had your one-to-one yesterday, and I was just like, you have QA right in front of you. And I know very well that you're going to take advantage of that and you're going to run with it. And definitely you are going. Please let me know how it goes on that one, because what you have presented.
The manager already. Yeah.
Well done. Thank you. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. Literally, like where she works, Indeed sent me a job of QA engineer. Where she works. And literally when I was having that one-to-one, I just sent it to her. I'm like, no, apply for this. This is internal. So you should definitely get it because you're already working there. You're already a staff. So you should get the job. So I'm so glad you've already applied and sent a message to the hiring manager. So I know something positive is going to come out of that. Let me know.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to your projects. This is a portfolio you can show just to let him know this is evidence of what you've done, you know. So this really, really will be good. Anything from you, Mr. Ade?
Just want to say thank you so much, Susan, for a very detailed approach towards this presentation. And I'm not surprised. You've always been somebody from the beginning of when this training started. You've always been very serious-minded. I mean, everyone here is serious, but you in particular, you've always been like, I'm here to get this thing. I'm here. So many times I'm on your call, but you guys don't know. I'm just in the background listening, how passionate you are, how much you are like, oh, how do we solve this thing? How do we get this thing sorted? You're very, very, very collaborative, very intentional, always willing to help, always willing to say, okay, you know what, put yourself first and everything. So yeah, I'm not surprised about your presentation. It's very, very thorough and detailed, and I'm very glad that you're already putting yourself out there to start challenging yourself in the interview. And obviously, you're very confident. You're very, 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 very strong in terms of your personality. You carry so much charisma out of everybody. Your courage is really good, and this is what is going to keep you going. This is what is going to get you on that career path that you have chosen to follow. So well done to you. Thank you so much for the presentation. Just keep doing what you're doing. I believe that something is definitely going to come very soon. And just to all of you, it doesn't end here. All right, guys. After today, I remember when I started applying for my first job, I used to do 30 applications a day before I got the job that I got. And I want you guys to set a timeline for yourself as well. If I'm going to give any advice, set a timeline for yourself. Tell yourself, you know what, in the next 1 month, I want to be able to do like minimum 10 interviews. And then in the next 2 months, I want to be able to do like 20 interviews and then 4 or 5 to the next stage. And in 3 months, I want to be able to land my first tech job. And then in 2 years or 1 year, I want to get increments in my current role. And then in 3 years, I want to become a senior. So when you set expectations for your career, there is no way that those expectations will not follow all your path. All right. There's a popular saying that the tongue is very powerful. What you speak to your existence is exactly what happens, you know, and everything from the physical already happens in the spiritual. So put those 3 months track record in place. Even if those rejections, I had so many rejections. I went on some interviews and they actually told me, oh, you're not good enough. So please don't let all those things derail you. Just ensure you keep doing those interviews. Just ensure you keep submitting your CV, you know, and be very intentional. All of you, please go and get your portfolio together. Write all the skills that you've learned from Mrs. Amber, every information that you've gotten, put it out there, and just keep applying for the jobs. And some of you that are in that are looking for probably opportunities outside the UK as well, don't limit your options to the UK. Some of you that are in the US, don't limit your options to just the state, one state. You know, spread your tentacles. Just give yourself the shot. Keep going. Put all your CV, put all your skills, and just keep applying every single day. You can do it in the morning on your way to work for those that are driving. But those using the train, just on the morning, put it out there, put yourself 30 minutes, just apply. In the evening, when you come back, get back again, finish your dinner, apply again. But set 1 month, I must get 10 interviews, 2 months, I must get 20 interviews, and then the 3rd month, I must get a job. All right. Thank you so much. You guys have been the best students we've had all the times we'll be doing Cohort, and I'm going to miss all of you. But again, we're always here. If you need us, please shout us. We're also going to be checking in with you guys to see what's going on. And all the best to you guys. Thank you so much for your work. Thank you so much for your collaboration. Thank you so much for your maturity. Thank you so much for making Amber very proud, because I can see that she's like a proud mom right now. You guys have taken everything on board and you have just flown with it. So I wish you guys all the best and God bless you all. Thank you.
Mr. Adi, I said it all. I don't know what else to say. Thank you so much. Okay.
Very proud of these students. I'm so proud of all of them. They've done well.
Yeah, me too. I'm so proud. Okay. One word from your leads. Also, there, anything from you to your team members? Haven't seen all their presentation.
I should unmute myself. Okay, please, good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Good evening, Mr. Zay.
Okay. Happy everyone can hear me. Okay, I was listening, excitement and some sort of fulfillment in me. Even though I know I didn't do your presentation, I didn't do the document for you. Neither did I present for you, but sort of excitement and fulfillment in me. Yeah, like it's just a beautiful one. Like proud of everyone, so proud of everyone, and I have to permit me to mention Eniton's name. Considering the fact that Eniton is always I don't know if I say she's always scared or she's always worried. I should call me. She'll be like, "So nothing is entering my head. Everything you told me yesterday, no one entered my head. Start again from today." But then seeing your presentations, like you all have done absolutely well. And just one thing I like to add. See, I think I mentioned this sometimes where the last, I think Anthony and Josie, if you guys can remember, Anthony in particular, I was telling you that don't be what's the word again? Don't be frightened by someone's experience. Right? And I recall that on that very day, I was saying that if I was supposed to be like part of a panel, I would actually prefer what you did to what Josie did on that day, because you showed us some technical aspects of things, and these are some of the things we want to see. So, in essence, I'm just saying someone's presentation or someone's design or whatever someone have said shouldn't sway you. It shouldn't be something that should make you fear or frighten you. And I don't know for a matter of fact, I have to be very sincere. I didn't take a look at the, even though I looked at it, but I didn't religiously look at it, the formats that Mrs. Amber gave. I didn't religiously look at it to see exactly like the steps and steps you should do. So maybe what I want to say now might be out of points, but please pardon me if it is because I didn't take a good look at that document. So at some point it felt like, okay, maybe because Anthony did certain stuff from the beginning and say he was demonstrating some stuff, and at some point I could hear some persons also trying to chip in same thing. Okay, personally I felt like, okay, maybe you feel like Anthony has said it, so you also want to chip it in. Again, I don't know if that was his I can't really recall that as the whole step his Zamba gave. But if that is not it and you chip it in, it's fine. It's fine. But then secondly, I'll just say that sometimes go by your own, like by your own flow, by what you have designed. Because that thing you feel like you want to copy someone and write an example, trust me, that thing might be wrong. You say, oh, I want to copy this person and write this thing. That thing might be wrong. So yeah, but you all did extremely well. Super proud, super proud. And the most exciting part for me is how you are able to demonstrate the entire work you did, like the blockers, the challenges, the things you did, your contribution, and the rest of it. And then Tosin, I must also applaud you. Thank you very much, Tosin. It's not easy doing the journey alone. The journey that began with about 10 persons alongside the whole website. And at some points, it became just you. After about 5 of us, 6 of us went to the AI project, and the other ones left you. But one man standing, that was the applaud. Well done, guys. Out of you. Congrats.
Thank you. All right. Congrats, everyone. All right. All set. Everybody say cheese. Anyton, why did you stop smiling? Okay, another one.
Just superstars.
All right. Yes. I'm taking the picture now. Thank you, everyone.